Hey guys, it's Michelle with Tennis Warehouse, and we are on site at the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells, California. And as you can see, we're at the practice courts. Actually, we just finished watching Tommy Paul, who's still doing some conditioning, practice with Grigor Dimitrov. So we're gonna break down what kind of things they were doing in their practice, what they were focusing on, what they were working on for this tournament, and let you know. So you're gonna take those tips and tricks into your next practice.
Sometimes ATP practices can all seem the same, but this one was entertaining, no doubt, loaded with some fun banter and string drama thrown in. The crowd was super stoked to catch both players, and they even interacted a little bit here and there. We also noticed the Netflix crew was snagging shots of this practice, so we can assume that either Grigor or Tommy will have a pretty nice role in next year's Breakpoint. It wasn't a super long practice nor super specific, with what seemed to be the main objective for both players to find rhythm and just gain confidence before their next match. Grigor Dimitrov took the court in his bright green sleeveless look. We are never exactly sure which racket he's using or endorsing, but he's currently swinging a blacked out racket, which we can assume might be some sort of pro stuff. He strings with a hybrid of Natural Gut and Luxilon 4G16L, and has been known to switch his overgrip as well, but we're seeing him with Wilson Pro overgrip at this time. He also seems to have a never-ending supply of older Nike Vapors, which look to be the elusive Vapor 9 Tours that we all wish we could get our hands on. During this week, he was still wearing Nike head to toe, but since has debuted a new kit from Lacoste at the French Open this year. However, he still seems to be rocking those Nike Vapors. American Tommy Paul endorses the Yonex V-Core 98 and matching racket bag. During this practice, he was struggling with string durability, and we aren't 100% sure what his current setup is, but we hope he has settled into something a little more durable. Yonex Super Grab is his grip of choice, and he's a New Balance athlete and wears the Fresh Foam Love 2, which makes sense since he's a hard court slider and pushes the limits with his speed, relying on a stable yet flexible shoe that will remain durable and offer him support and stability. The two spent a good amount of time just hitting through the middle of the court and switched sides to do the same, just to get used to the sun, the breeze, and any other conditions. Both players were looking to find a rhythm, and they were working on good depth with each shot and hanging out just a few feet behind the baseline. These courts were playing slow, so you can imagine they had some long rallies. They even spent some time dialing in their backhand slices, focusing on keeping the ball low, just barely kissing the top of the net, and seeing who would miss first. The two had great chemistry and good banter through the practice, and it was fairly lighthearted, and the mood was great on practice court 4. The two players decided to work on their cross courts by drilling from the deuce side first and found good consistency with their rally balls, rarely missing. However, this is when Tommy started to have issues with his strings and had to interrupt the rhythm to get freshly strung rackets. We could catch some string chatter between him and his coach, and then broke another string just a few balls later, blaming Grigor for his big shots. Some players are very regimented with getting their strings restrung before every match and practice, while others not so much. So we learned that one of the broken strings of the racket was one that Tommy had previously played with, but you could tell he was getting frustrated a bit with his gear.
No, it was used. Don't worry.
They switched to the ad side to focus on backhands. Dimitrov drilled his beautiful one-handed backhand, and we saw Tommy hit some backhands but run around a good amount to open up with his inside-out forehand. Next, they took turns drilling their volleys, hitting one up against one back, and eventually added in the overhead. This was a fairly low-key practice and one of the shorter ones that we caught, but they warmed up serves and returns, but did not end up playing their games out. Grigor headed inside for his post-practice routine, while Tommy and his coach grinded out some conditioning. Like most of us, when we hear the word conditioning or footwork or even sprints, Tommy didn't seem thrilled that he was being pushed extra. First, they fed him a super wide forehand on the run and followed it up with a super short dropper on the backhand wing, making him cross through the court. They repeated that a few times and then did the same with the other side, starting with a backhand on the run and following it up with a short forehand dropper, focusing on quick bursts and getting to every ball.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. For more pro practices, be sure to head over to tenniswarehouse.com.